I'll have to pass over to Jenny, but we'll see how we go. So my name's Philip Wicks and I'm chair for this meeting. So may I welcome you all to the November the 29th, 2022 meeting of the Planning and Community Committee of Woodley Town Council. Woodley Town Council meetings are now recorded, with recordings streamed live and stored on the Town Council's YouTube channel. And by virtue of attending the meeting, you consent to having your image and audio recorded for this purpose. If you do not wish for your image and audio to be recorded, then please do not stay for the meeting. Town Council is consulted by Wokingham Borough Council on planning applications within Woodley, but the final decision of approved or refused is taken by Wokingham Borough Council. And we will notify Wokingham Borough Council of the committee's views, which may include any comments and concerns expressed by members of the community affected by the application. So if anyone has any comments to make on any of the planning applications, then they need to formally write or send an email to the Wokingham Borough Council Planning Department, as they will take the final decision on the application. For those in attendance, I hope there isn't a fire alarm tonight because the theatre is in use. But if there is a fire drill, please move out to the front, at the front of the park by the Oakwood Centre. Thank you. All right. Matthew, apologies.
Yes, we have apologies from councillors Sartorial, Baker, Bragg, Skegg and Nagra.
Good. Do we have any declarations of interest?
I don't have to give it, it will be discussed, but number 8, 2 POs, is money more is closed.
Yeah. Because you're not on the committee, does that have an effect? No. So you're okay.
Oh,
Okay, thank you. So if we can look at the minutes of the Planning and Community Committee meeting of the 1st of November, which is on page 5. You happy with those, Carol?
Mr. Chair, on item 119 and 131, it talks about drafting a letter by a member. As I understood it, it's usually the officers that write the letter, often in conjunction with the chairman, and it wouldn't be a member to draft a letter or to propose that letter. And I wondered if the minutes could reflect that, because it does sound as if they're going to write a letter and send it, otherwise it's got to be
That's fair enough. Yeah.
agreed by the town council.
I know we said Councillor Skegg was going to draft a letter. Yeah. I haven't seen a draft. There's a draft going around.
What I thought he said he was going to write a little report rather than a letter. Maybe I misunderstood.
I think under 131, yes, I would recall.
I've not seen anything from them. So, okay. I'll drop him a quiet word.
In terms of the minutes, can I just check? Because obviously this is there any questions over whether this did or didn't happen? It's just because this is what I understood was the discussion.
I think it's the way it's been written. To anybody not understanding what happens, it sounds as if Richard is going to write the letter and send it.
I think that's what was agreed. That's
It does say, and for the draft to be circulated to the committee before sending at the end of that paragraph.
yeah. But I understood that. I mean, no, I understood it was Councillor Skegg that would be actually drafting that.
Who's going to draft it? And we're all going to approve it.
It can't be a letter from, sorry, it can't be a letter from the town council unless it's been agreed. So that's really the point to make.
So I understood he was going to send it round and we were going to say yay or nay. I'm spotted, Carol. So is there anything else in those minutes that we need to review? So subject to those two amendments, can we accept those minutes? Yes,
I wasn't attending, I wasn't there, so.
okay. It's been accepted, subject to those two amendments. So if we can then look at the current planning application. Start at page 15. Number 1 is 222559, which is first floor, unit 4C, Woodley Park Estate, 59 to 69 Reading Road. And there's an application for proposed change of use of a room on the first floor of the existing commercial building to a tattoo studio. Got any comments to raise on that? Happy with that one?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. We've got no problem with that. 222632, 4 Coppice Road. Holder application for the proposed erection of a part single and part double story front, side and rear extension to the existing dwelling following loft conversion works and demolition of the existing garage. We've seen this before, haven't we?
And an amendment to the plans.
My comments were it's moving from 3 to 5 bedrooms plus the loft conversion work, which effectively makes it 7. Removal of the existing side detached garage to make way for the 2-story side extension, which extends to the rear, which is 5 meters deep. And I've said that that was reduced from deeper. And the first floor rear is now inset. Numerous objections from neighbours about a 7-bedroom house, brackets 2-bedroom conversion, with minimal parking in a narrow road, out of character with other properties on the road. Overdevelopment and out of character. That's right, Alex, I've seen you. That's right. Carol, so.
Can I just come
Yeah,
in
go on.
first? Sorry.
That's all right, Bill.
Just that I've been in contact with the neighbours of number 4, and I have in fact asked that this be listed. And I've actually put an application in, but I've received a correspondence back from the planning officer saying that as far as the parking is concerned, can I just read it to you? What I got as a reply from the planning officer. In terms of the reason for listing, it seems to me that there is a concern over the future use as an HMO. As this application is not for a change of use to an HMO, this will not be assessed. The application is for extension shown on the plans, and the potential future use has nothing to do with the decision. So you would not be a reason for refusal. Wokingham Borough Council Highways Officer has no objections in terms of parking, as 3 off-street parking spaces is sufficient, even for a 7-bedroom house. So there are no conflicts with highway safety standards. Number 6 Coppice Road have an extant permission for a 2-story style extension, a 1-story front extension, and a 1-story rear extension. The only difference with this application is the first floor rear element. Therefore, if number 6 fully implements their permission, the side extension has already been built, then the proposal would not be significantly out of keeping with the area. With these things in mind, the amendments that have been made, would you still like this application to be listed for committee? I've gone back and said, yes, I would, because I'm more concerned over the parking issue. Although highways say that it's sufficient with 3 parking spaces for a 7-bedroom house, I think there is still a lot of concern over parking in the road. And if you know Coppice Road, it's a very difficult road to negotiate.
Yes.
So I've asked for it to be listed, and that's
Okay.
where we are at the moment.
But Bill, has it been, I'm sorry to interrupt, but it's connected with what Bill said. Has number 6 had their planning application approved already?
If they're reading this, it looks as though it's going through, and I don't know whether it has. They have, what they've said is number 6 have extant permission for a 2-story side extension. So
Well, they've had the permission then.
yeah,
So in that
Yeah.
case, we can't complain about the size, can we really?
it's not really the size. No, I mean that's why I tended to major really on the parking issue.
Alex,
Yeah, ridiculous. Suggest 7-bedroom house is not going to be a disaster for parking.
Yeah.
Because one cannot actually aware that there's a bus route, 19A and 19C goes down that road. It's the route everybody from that part of Woodley all know. It's how they get out onto Long Bridge Road. Well, when we left them anyway. You know, to suggest that parking's not an issue is absolutely ridiculous. And I think a 7-bedroom house on that road is out of keeping with the other houses, whatever Woking Borough says.
Okay,
Probably more store should have been placed on the conversion to the loft, shouldn't it?
yeah, because that's the difference as opposed to neighbours. Yeah, yeah.
This is
I mean-
not what they want to do all along. And if they come up with this initially, so it would have been turned down, so they've done it in 2 parts. Sorry, I can't be cynical, but
No, it's all right. I don't think anybody disagrees with you, Alex.
Right,
Yeah, yeah.
We're of a similar
Okay, well, we'll
mind.
see where it goes now, but anyway, it has been, I've requested
So that's
listing.
been listed. Okay, right, thank you, Bill. So we're not too impressed with that. And we still think it's overdeveloped.
Yeah.
Parking issues, and out of context, and the location on the bus routes. It's on the corner, isn't it?
No, it's,
Oh, no, it's not on the corner.
no.
further up. Mm.
I still recommend refusal.
Yes, there's a lot of traffic down that road. There is a lot of traffic. Okay, so we go on to 223169, which is 47 Water Way. Application for the proposed single-story rear extension to include roof lights plus first floor side extension. And I've said this is a 3-meter extension to the rear, single story, a new bedroom on the first extension built on the existing side garage. Comment from Carol, I believe, concerned about the impact on the neighbour, set forward of number 47 of the 2-story element. Carol, would you like to clarify that a little bit?
Well, yes, I think it's the position of the 2 houses. So number 47 is forward, or I can't remember. It's certainly not in line with the application. And so this extension, I think, is going to have quite an impact on my neighbour. I think that's to be considered.
Okay. Anybody else got any comments to make? No? So can we say we've got no objection in principle? But we would like consideration being given to ensure that the neighbour is not, what word shall we use? Disadvantaged?
Negatively impact.
Negatively impacted. Based on the comments that Carol made. Have you seen Carol's response?
Yeah.
Oh, that's fine. Okay. So item 4 is 223203, 23 Fawcett Crescent. Proposed erection of a single-story front porch and conversion of the garage. I've just said it's conversion of the existing garage to a store with a cloakroom, front extension to a garage and entrance hall maintaining a garage type door. So front extension is about 1.5 meters deep. No objection from Carol. Does anybody else want to make any comments? No? Are we happy with that one? 223204, single-story front side and rear extension to 56 Bruce Road. The rear extension is 4 meters deep to the existing occupied area. A new study en suite and gym to replace the existing, quote, I'm not sure if it's a shed or it may have been a garage, which is but it's probably not being used as a garage now, so they just called it a shed at the rear of the garden. The front extension is 1600 deep to form the new entrance lobby. Carol says large, long expanse of wall on the west elevation, impact on the neighbour. This is quite a large gym, isn't it?
Mm.
Yeah, quite a large gym outside.
Which is the extension, not the gym, was it?
There's been no objections from neighbours.
No.
No.
No. So we happy with that one? Okay. Move on to 21 Rothwell Gardens, 223270. Application for the proposed single-story front extension to create an enclosed porch plus single-story rear extension following demolition of the existing conservatory. A new 4 meter deep rear extension to replace the conservatory, which was only part width of the house. Small front porch, approximately 1.5 meters deep to match the footprint of the entrance to the garage. No comments from Carol? I think we have problems on that one, okay. Number 7 is 2 Welford Road. Household applications, the proposed erection of an outbuilding in the rear garden. A new gym with shower facilities to be built at the rear of the garden. 5.4 by 4.5 by 3.7 meters high. Neighbour concerned about overlooking and the unit not to be used as a dwelling, which I think is a fair comment. And what does Carol have to say? This has an unacceptable impact visually and overlooking on the neighbour at 7 Endstone. Number 2 has a large enough garden to avoid this. So
I always feel quite strongly about this sort of extension where it's big and they don't want it near them, push it to the end of the garden and it has this huge impact on that neighbour. And I think if they want something like that,
I agree,
then they should accept it closer to their house.
Unfortunately, that's not a good planning reason, is it?
Well, the impact on the neighbour is good. I think, so we have got a letter of objection from 7 Endstone. We should support them.
yes. So are we objecting to the building or are we objecting to the location? Okay. We think it's out of context. Incorrectly located. Too much impact on the neighbours.
Yeah, and I think we should reference the neighbour has already objected.
Please take the neighbours' comments. Yeah. "46 Buccaneer Close is 223318. I've got lots of records there. Mainly from one person. Application to proposed erection of a single-storey front extension, conversion of existing storage room to create habitable accommodation, first floor rear extension plus changes to fenestration and demolition of existing porch. I've said the front extension for new bedroom on the ground floor, pulling forward the existing store, which used to be a garage, by 3 meters, move from 4 bedrooms to 3 on the first floor, by conversion of one to a study and another to an entrance to a new first floor master bedroom built onto the existing rear extension. Neighbour concern about loss of light overlooking and the parking issues created when the new ground floor bedroom. Damage to the front with the existing green space converted to parking with a risk to the current, I've called it pavement here, and this is a tarmac strip around the front, isn't it, for pedestrians. My comments: ground floor extension would mean a loss of parking on the driveway unless it was a small car. Access right on the bend for proposed parking was Carol's comments. So who would like to comment on that one? Alex?
I was concerned about the neighbours light at the back. I think the afternoon would be an issue for light to see.
Like parking as well.
At the moment, there's running for a car in front of the garage, but I think once that comes extensions in place, the average car is parked there, it'll be overhanging pavement, therefore it's not viable. And that then doesn't meet the parking requirements. Plus the fact they're exiting very close to a bend, so even more cars there would be an issue.
The neighbour has asked me to read this out. We live next door at number 45 and we object to the above proposal. The car parking space from the extension to back edge of the footpath appears to be inadequate, which we've just picked. Right? It does not meet parking standards. The 3-car parking spaces seem to obstruct pedestrian access to the property. Proposed front projection is out of character with the street scene and projects forward with the principal elevation build line of properties in the road. Will create an oppressive street view perspective of cars and increased drop curb on a bend of the road. And then there's a comment with regards to the extension will totally block all sunlight to my rear elevation. And then a comment about the rear extension. The rear extension will overshadow our rear patio and rear windows, obstructing sunshine. We do not see the need for a gabled roof. We feel 3 windows are excessive to the rear. This is obviously encroaching our back garden. And there are some photographs. I don't know whether or not, I don't know whether you've seen them, if you want to see
No,
them.
not yet.
Want to look at anything, Jenny?
Yes, please, thank you.
This is on the corner, isn't it? Yeah. The footpath literally stops at the end of their property.
Still needs attention. I'll say so. Yes, that's nice.
I think we should recommend it.
I'm like-minded on this. I think it's overdevelopment, out of character, there's parking issues. Seems odd that there would be a bedroom at the front unless there's someone who's disabled. I was presuming there would be some support from the local authority, wouldn't there? Perhaps, I'm not sure.
Necessarily, I don't know. If they've applied for it, but
And we've also got some restrictions on that footpath. What have we got?
Recommend refusal, overdevelopment, out of character, insufficient parking provision.
And we ask them also to take the comments from the neighbour into account. Nine. 223348 Addington School. Single-storey modular building erected on hard standing. External access ramp and steps for a period of up to 3 years, including minor alterations to landscaping. The temporary building may affect up to 7 birch trees. There was an assessment, which obviously Carol's looked at as well. It doesn't actually say whether they're going to knock them down or what they're going to do. All the assessment is done is just to look at them, isn't it?
Yeah, the application form states that a tree survey is required because trees are impacted. But what we've got is a tree count, not a tree survey. They've gone out and looked at them and said, yes, there's X number of trees, but they have admitted that they don't know the quality or the state of the trees.
They classified them as B and C.
So to me, that's not a survey. And I think that's really important. We should maintain those, any trees, edges, whatever.
I feel reluctant to reject it, but
recommendation that
It may impact, isn't it, which is not helpful to us.
no.
I think we can express concern about the impact on landscaping and that the tree survey. Seems very thorough.
So we've got no objection to the building as such, but we are concerned about the impact on the environment and the local silver birch trees on here, silver birch tree, which we'd like to be retained. Right. Number 10, 223394, 20 Butts Hill Road. Proposed loft conversion, single-storey rear extensions, roof lights, changes to windows and a gated entrance. Moving from a bungalow to a chalet bungalow with a loft conversion to create an additional bedroom, ensuite, dressing room, office. I've never seen a dressing room and office combined before. Extension to rear of garage to meet the existing house wall. Boxing area to replace existing conservatory with a more substantial build. Carol didn't comment on that one. If she did, I haven't got any notes.
I'm sorry, I didn't look at it. I don't think I had any objection.
Okay, so we happy with that one?
yeah,
Okay. 223398, 1 School Drive, loft conversion, rear pitch dormer, roof lights to front elevation, loft conversion to create bedroom 4 with a new dormer. This backs to a joined property in an L shape, looks to be out of character in this area and the first to appear, I say appear, to have applied for such an extension or change. These are fairly new houses.
Very tall.
So you've got one house which is sort of overlooking a small green, and then you've got the other house which sort of backs on an L shape. They want to put a loft conversion in which overlooks the front, I believe.
Any objections? No objections
I
from.
haven't seen anything. Carol just says loft conversion, okay.
They're going to come, aren't they?
Just it's another precedent, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. So
Very small houses then, aren't they? on
Yeah.
School Drive.
yeah, this one's right at the end, so
This
they're
is the other one.
so they're quite fortunate in a way. So are we happy with that one? Okay. Number 12, 223399, 12 Grace Crescent. Single story outbuilding in the rear garden, a retrospective. 6 by 3 metre garden room in the rear garden. Actual location on the plot is hard to determine, I've said. And I've said it should not be within 3 metres of ancient woodland because we had that application, didn't we, from something back onto Aldermars, and there was this strip of land which was owned by, we think, a builder.
Yeah.
And then Wokingham rejected it because it can't be within 3 metres of ancient woodland. So
I think it's something we should look at, perhaps Wokingham should look at, the number of retrospective applications that we get. You know, it's almost like, you know, yeah. You know, it's, oh, well, we'll build it and then let them come and tell us we can't do it. And, you know, just,
Wokingham are loath to tell people to knock things down.
no, yeah, apart from, what was it, the Glen Devon shops?
yeah,
Yeah, that's because Keith kept banging on.
Oh,
about
yeah. You know, I mean, it's a point that just, I think is a concern, the number of retrospectives we get.
so we don't want to approve it, but we don't mind it, but it's the location. So we're concerned that it's unclear the location of this room, especially if it's retrospective. I mean, that drawing should be clear.
Yeah.
And we assume it is not within 3 metres of the woodland to the rear of the building.
More detailed.
That's required. Right, 13223425, 95 Hatton Drive. Part single, part 2-story side rear extension, following the demolition of the existing garage with changes to fenestration. This shows an increase of 60% to the ground floor and 45% to the first floor. The plot is adjacent to a green strip leading to Woodford Park. This is a semi-detached and will become very different from its neighbour, but the plot and location appear to be able to take this size of extension. Very large extension, impact on number 93, rear elevation dramatically changed from Carroll. So, anybody want to make any comments on that?
Well,
I think if I'd been anywhere else, I think I would have been objecting on the size and everything else, but actually it is just backing on to the volume.
Was it sort of a football pitch or something?
If it's
There was a sort of a green strip along the
Yeah,
side.
it's the old footpath into.
Yeah, there's access to the
Yeah.
electricity substation.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm not sure about how much impact there is on there, but we haven't had any seen letters.
No. I don't think it probably does impact too much on the neighbour
I
because,
think maybe okay, subject to notes.
okay, so we happy to say okay, subject to it? Yeah, all right, okay. Last, the lease 223462, which is 23 Stanton Close Early, is an application change, adjoining parish consultation, My comment is this is the other side, this is the early side of the railway line, so we wouldn't normally comment on that. No, that's fine. Okay, good. It's the current applications. So if we look and then at the planning decisions on page 17. They haven't agreed with us sometimes on this, have they? They've approved the land to the rear of 16 Butts Hill Road for a dwelling and detached garage, despite our objection. Is this the one that backs onto that close?
Yes.
So it'd be interesting to know how they're going to get access to it, if that close is owned by the residents of the close. 21 Austin Road, single-storey rear extension flat roof. That's been approved. It looks as if everything else they've been happy with. Well done. Thank you. Number 6, just to note, there's a planning appeal for 6 Brunel Drive, ground floor extension, etc., etc. And we had objections to the proposals, and the appeal against refusal of planning permission, and the appeal was dismissed. So it would be interesting to see if they actually take it any further now. Prior approval submission, 85 Woodlands Avenue, prior application for a single-storey rear extension, which would extend beyond the rear wall of the original house by 6 metres, for which the maximum height would be 3, and the height to the eaves 2.95. And 223402, 2 Monroe Avenue, erection of a single-storey rear extension, which would extend beyond the rear wall of the house by 6 metres, for which the maximum height would be 3, and the height of the eaves 2.4. Then we've got some tree preservation orders. Do you want me to read those, or can we take those as read?
State your voice, Mr. Chairman, take those as read.
There's not much of it left. Okay, we'll take those as read. Thank you. Number 9, street trading consent. Mr. Jan Ratib, Mo's Kebabs, Woodlands Avenue. I'm not sure it's opposite the university site now, but I know where it is.
Yeah.
He hasn't given us any trouble over the years, to my knowledge. So have we got any objection to him carrying on? No? Okay. We've got no objection to
Well,
that.
that was, yeah, they were already required before the meeting, so that was already noted.
Item 10, just to note an update from Wokingham about the Central and Eastern Berkshire Joint Minerals and Waste Plan. We'll discuss that particularly. Page 19. I don't think it impacts us very much. Solihull is probably the closest to the extraction. I think is still going on, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm not sure. Yeah.
And on page 20, item 11, the electric vehicle charging locations. And they've given us 2, one in Pitford Road. And where's the other one? And the other one in Weevil Drive. Sure, they're the best locations. I'm assuming they're going to put some, I think they say they're going to put some in the car parks as well. So. We are interested to consider other locations.
I think it's ongoing, isn't it?
It's ongoing. Yeah.
Do we know the government now trying to make sure everything works all different? Up till now, it's been free. And other folks use electric car for years, and some you can use a car, some you need to download an app. And the other issue is maintenance. They're great, they're put in. And when they go wrong, there's no machines to be around to maintain. So I'm hoping now that there's some kind of nationwide coordination so that it's much more simplified system.
There are a number of manufacturers. Because I've got two manufacturers on my books, one in Germany and one in the UK. And at the moment, they seem to be working for the large car companies. The one guy is I think, more interested in supplying them for domestic dwellings. But there's new regulations and all sorts of things out, isn't there, with regards to charging points. But they can delay charging for, is it half an hour or an hour? If the grid is overloaded, apparently you can put whatever app you want and plug in, but you might have to wait half an hour before you're actually allowed to download anything. So, but yeah, you're right about maintenance. You know, I was
That
driving.
is an issue that's brilliant, it's great, but you go on, people seem to take responsibility.
I think it's important to select the companies that are going to supply and maintain them, isn't it? So I guess Wokingham, I don't imagine Wokingham buying them as such. They're just going to lease them, aren't they? Or they're going to have a company supply them to Wokingham on a supply and maintenance basis, I would imagine.
But no, it's good news.
Well, the more the better, yes. Yeah. Okay. Right, item 12, new traffic enforcement powers consultation. Taking account of residents, businesses and other interested parties and their plans to take over the enforcement of certain moving traffic offences across the borough. Page 23. I think we need to look at that and comment independently. We have until the 2nd of January. Just go.
Yeah, I've been happier if this was about moving slightly in a shopping centre offences. It's a shame that what they're planning here couldn't extend to that. I don't think it can, it's a totally different laws, is it? But I'm not sure that we have too many moving traffic offences, but certainly cycling is something that needs, well, it is an ongoing problem. Needs to be sorted in some way.
Yes, I mean, some of the comments they're making here about stopping people going through no entry sites the wrong way and some unhelpful parking seems to be the extent of it at the moment, but that doesn't mean to say that's where it will stop.
Could we like to ask if there is any plan to include cycling offences in the enforcement of that in the borough zone?
No reason why not. Do something
Very
else
nice.
too. Jocelyn, yeah, for the election.
Okay. I think this is about ANPR cameras that are stuck up, so they'll pick up on the license plates of the vehicles, making the offences and then automatically charge them. They've got them in Reading, so if you go over, if you park and end up parking on a or stopped on a crosshatch on a crossroads, then they can automatically fine you. Or you go through a red light, they automatically. So I know that Reading have had that for years. So I think that's really what it's to do with. So in terms of cycling, obviously, they wouldn't have the license registration to know who it belongs to. So.
Just face recognition. Thanks.
Because I saw something that Reading are going to impose more restrictions on people driving into the orange boxes, aren't they? I thought they already were, but apparently they
Well,
weren't.
then hatching, you mean?
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, London boroughs make a fortune out of it.
well, they're starting to make a fortune out of people driving in excess of 20 as well, now, aren't they? And cyclists do more than 20, don't they?
Right?
Lots of cyclists just go at more than 20,
Yeah. Yeah.
if they count. Okay.
Ask on that. The agenda asked members to consider a response to the consultation. I know previously we've sent consultations like this around to all councillors so that they are aware, and then we publicise this to the members of the public. That's something you'd like to do on this occasion so that members could reply in individually.
I was going to pick that up when on the end when we were talking about publicity and website. But yes, I mean that's what we should be doing. make sure everybody's aware. Item 13, Community Speed Watch. So Bragg's not here to update. Yes?
This is the second meeting running that we've had this item. We haven't, and I do understand why we haven't had an update. I wonder if we could ask for one for the full council next week, just so we, even if it's nothing's changed or nothing's happening, but it is an important one to be updated on.
Good idea. Early station footbridge. Well, there was a comment passed by Councillor Baker at the last meeting that they think it's been picked out, is probably the wrong word, but it sounds as if they might be moving just to a repair facility.
Yeah.
There's been nothing official that I've seen.
No, but that was the word, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. Which does nothing for disabled access.
So nothing's been mentioned yet.
No,
Okay.
no.
I think we need to know, Chair. So we haven't had anything officially.
No, there's not. I think it's still sort of in consultation, isn't it, as far as I know, but that was the word that came out, that it was going to be a refurbishment, repair.
Just let us know.
I'd like to drop a line just for an update, can we?
We could ask them. Any connection with any station, any people who would be. Quite cool.
Big problem as well is just how much work, remedial work, the SEE will actually allow them to do. That's another issue. It's all very well saying, oh, we're going to do this, but you know, if it's on the bridge and it's close to the gas main, there's always a possibility they may veto that anyway. And then you run the risk of the bridge potentially being shut even sooner than is envisaged. And I don't even know what's envisaged, to be honest. I mean, no one.
If they refurbish it, is it the supports that need refurbishing as well? Because that would be the invasive onto the gas main, wouldn't it?
Supports, but it's also
The
across,
decking.
across the bridge. They've had to put barriers up to catch debris falling off.
Well, they still end up having to close the railway. Really. And there's a big cost.
Well, it's a good time to do, isn't it?
Yeah, we get everyone on strike, yeah.
Okay. All right. 15, any community issues, please? No? Okay. Any highways issues? Carol?
Yes, I've had an email today from my journey team at Woking Borough. And what we've said is we've won some funding from DEFRA to spend on bike facilities. Yeah, and we'd like to install a bike pump stroke repair station in Woodley for use by your cyclists. Is there a specific location you prefer this to be installed? This follows on from me continually saying to my journey team, we seem to be doing a lot in Woking and very little in Woodley. So I'm glad that they've listened, and what they're proposing is a very fancy column, if you like, got pictures of it, I could circulate, which has benches and tools and things, so you can adjust, repair whatever your bike. And next to that will be a pump with a pressure gauge, you know, the full works. I was thinking that in terms of vandalism, it would be better if it's overseen. And my first thought, and I have a discussion, or I can talk with the officers out of this meeting, is to put it at front of the open centre. I didn't want it in the car park because that gives the wrong message, because cyclists don't go in the car park. Don't want it in the town centre, again, wrong message. And I thought that this probably was best. I have asked her for the infrastructure requirements, the space required. I don't know whether, I presume it might need electrics.
You're going to need a compressor of some sort, aren't
Yes,
you?
I think it's just sorry, I have had some information, and I've discussed it with Colin. Amenities mentioned we were looking at potential locations either here, as you said, and we did identify a spot up at Woodford Park Leisure Centre, which might work well as well. But yeah, perhaps we can.
So that's good news.
The only other one would be an issue on Colemanmore Road between, I think it's between Colemanmore Lane and Austin Road. There's continual water laying there. Now, I think the Thames Water have had a problem with leaks, but also during rainfall, the water just lays there, and coming into the cold, wet weather, the icy weather, that's going to be a potential hazard. Something needs to be done. It's either the drainage isn't sufficient or there's this continual leak, and I'm not sure. I know Thames Water have been working there in the past, so it might still be part of the leak. So, but yeah,
We raise that, part of the highways issues. Okay, thanks, Bill. So how do we want to react to the location for the bicycle repair facility?
Is the committee happy with that? I'll talk to Kevin and we'll come up.
It's fine, yeah.
Okay.
I'm quite happy with that. I mean, you're a cyclist and I'm not, so. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Item 17, you should have had a copy of the Me Too Club newsletter, Wokingham Borough Council Planning Policy newsletter, and the CCB e-bulletin. If you haven't had those, just drop a note to Matthew. I can send you another copy. Are there any items that we need to add to a future agenda? Yeah, any items we need to remove from a future agenda? No? Okay. Publicity website. So we've already raised the issue with regards to the traffic enforcement powers. Carol?
Could we publicise the fact that we've been offered this bike deluxe repair station?
Don't see why not. Going to put the local bicycle dealers out of. If it's just a pump.
I think it just allows cyclists to keep going to where they're going. It's an emergency thing.
This means you could lift your bike up onto the road so you can work on it
Yeah.
and time.
Right, item 20 is enforcement issues. 52 Malone Road, rear extension larger than planning permission allows, no breach. 269A Headley Road, possible use as a house of multiple occupation, no breach. 34 Weeble Drive, unauthorized work to a TPO tree, not expedient. 1 Woodway, a historical notice served 12/11/2010. Historic record. Have you got any ideas what that means?
It means given up.
I think they're probably updating a database and they found a historic record that's not on there, so they've added it.
Right, okay. Well, it's a bit old anyway, it's 12 years old. So. 14 Selkirk Close, breach of condition about drainage. It says no breach. Right, that completes the main agenda. And I now have to ask that in accordance with Standing Order 12.2, in view of the confidential nature of the business about to be transacted in relation to personal information, it's advisable in the public interest that the public and press are temporarily excluded, and they are asked to withdraw for item 21 on the agenda. And I'm assuming that the yes, please, Alex. I'm assuming also that the YouTube video will also be terminated at this stage.